And now, welcome to the gambling portion of the Panthers podcast, the Panthers Picks podcast. Folks, before we get on into it, if you are under the age of 21, planning on gambling with money you cannot afford to lose, planning on gambling in a state that does not allow sports gambling, you can get out. You can get out now. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on your way out. Let's get on into it. Before we do, once again, folks, week 4, I can admit it. I'm man enough to admit it. I lost my absolute shirt. It may look like I'm wearing a shirt right now. I lost my absolute shirt at the sportsbook last week. What? I got St. Louis right on the -7. Michigan, Arlington, Birmingham -7, and the under 40. Just completely just done and dusted. Okay, I have been betting. Obviously, all this season, XFL, USFL, past couple, it was hands down the worst week of gambling, the least amount of picks that I got right across all of you so far, and I'm man enough to admit that. All right, I'm man enough to admit that. Some of y'all only like posting picks that you actually hit. You got the receipts here on the Panthers Picks podcast. Enough about last week. We are not judged by the amount of times we fall down, but the amount of times we pick ourselves up. There's definitely some fun, gambling parallel to that. Regardless, folks, we're getting back up on the horse and we're trying to figure it out this week. Taking a look, bow! As you can tell, obviously, all of these taken from DraftKings. DraftKings, a fun little kiddie sports book, right? Guys, if you're here in Vegas, I get most of mine from MGM, Caesars, or Station. Station usually puts out their lines a little bit earlier. Caesars does this weird, they only release money line bets until Friday evening or something like that. MGM will always have you good. Station will always have you good once they're actually up. Big fat shout out. Clarification here. Take all this with a big fat grain of salt. There are no sponsorships on the show whatsoever. I'm not picking any of these. Folks, you're a gambler. Go forth, pick the best line for you based on whether you're tailing or fading. Top into it. The San Antonio Bravas. Little battle for Texas here. They're telling me everything's bigger down in Texas. Well, totals ain't. Brahma's favored -1.5 going into Arlington Renegades house, over under 42.5. Brahma's Quentin Dormady showed us exactly what he needed to last week. I think it's fair to say that Luis Perez did not. Defense there looking shaky, and Perez is once again the spring football quarterback that we've come to know, which means he will go forth and set actual passing records right across the first 3 weeks, and I believe he's still on top even in week number 4, but still come out with an L, whether that's by 10 points or 3 points. He's just super up and down. On the flip side, San Antonio's defense has been pretty damn good. Let's take a look at the numbers.
The numbers, basically. What do they mean?
Yeah, so Arlington's total defense 6th in the league, passing defense 3rd in the league, rushing defense 8th in the league. Listen, San Antonio, we just learned that. that this pack got absolutely trounced last week, both through the air and on the ground and whatnot, and especially on the special teams, man. If San Antonio can get the kind of kick returns they got against us, against Arlington, we're looking at double-digit wins. I am confident. Man, I'm going to take, I think 4 or 5 picks that I'll say are mine, that I'm actually confident on. But I'm going to pick all of these games for y'all just in case you want, one esports caster's extra little opinion as far as what to do. I am probably going over here just because San Antonio's both of these offenses can get it done, but given how the Renegades defenses looked last week, I wouldn't be surprised if they give up 28 points, and then even 14 on the other side for Arlington equals out and over here. If I was gonna, I'm confident about Brahmas -1.5. Expect this line to move as well, people. We are recording Wednesday about 3 p.m. Pacific time. Moving on along, other Saturday game, because they're playing both on Fox, both regionally. One of them is getting 90% coverage across the great United States. One of them is getting 10% coverage. How would you get less eyes on the league? I challenge you. Perhaps if you come with an answer, hey, maybe you get a job at the UFL. I don't freaking know. Birmingham Stallions taking on the Houston Roughnecks. Stallions going on into the Houston territory over under 42.5. We're looking at a 7.5 point favorite for the Birmingham Stallions. Folks, is this hard? Is this hard? Like, yes, we just saw DC Defenders one with with the Arlington Renegades, hands down the most up and down team where they just night and day from week to week here. This is Birmingham all day long. Expect this line to move as well. 7.5 is nothing within this league, and I anticipate. Why is this? Nope, not that one. There we go. And I am anticipating this. I'm anticipating this line to move a little bit more. 7.5 Birmingham Stallions. I'm not going to be taking all favorites either. Don't you guys worry about that one. Under 42.5 definitely. Not definitely. Sorry. Again, I am not giving out any of my totals as confirmed Tugboat takes, Panthers picks, whatever you want to call it. I am retiring at least this week from the totals game because there's really nothing I see great here. Maybe the St. Louis game. Maybe I could see that being an absolute shootout. It really just depends on whether or not DC shows up. So far San Antonio -1.5. I'm gonna and completely up and down on the totals here for this first game. I'm gonna lean over 42.5. It's not gonna be by much. Under 42.5 right here. I could see a 30-10 game, 30-9, 31-9, something like this. I could see it being a little bit close. Not 100% sure about that one. Again, totals completely just cannot see the forest through the trees right now. St. Louis Battlehawks taking on the DC Defenders, going to a place where the DC has never ever lost. I think that is affecting this total, or this ATS. -3, St. Louis, even just a push on a walk-off field goal. If you guys are tied for 3, that is entirely fair. I'm not going to say lock it up, but AJ McCarron has been slinging this out. He has hands down the best wide receiver room, and it got better last week. DC Defenders defense on the other side. Let's take a look at it. Defense, DC Defenders rushing defense is 7th in the league. Passing defense is 2nd in the league. Interesting. So, who have they played with so? Who has DC played so far? That's the outside the Stallions last week, where more than half this game was not really dictated by throwing the ball because it was like monsooning in Birmingham, right? Expect this total to come down some. Expect this to come down from 47. I hate even number totals, but I would love this 44.5, 45 even. I would love that, nail that, and I'm not even saying it's going to be a super close game. I'm just not sure both of these teams. These are two big scoring powerhouses. This just depends on whether or not DC's defense show up. If they can, if DC's defense shows up, then they lose by 4 or 5. If it doesn't, they lose by 11 or 12. And again, this could be the DC defense that shows up and is just absolutely anemic yet again, and they get blown out, 35-3, or not 35-3. I wouldn't say that. 35-9. Okay. Which of course would be an under. Again, not feeling great about it. If I gun to the head, I'm taking over 47. I would love more over 45 or something like that. Or which obviously equals out, I guess, to the under. So really, once again, just completely up and down on those ones. Michigan Panthers, our Michigan Panthers taking it to Memphis. Memphis is, I talked about it a little bit before, guys. Yes, we just got trounced by the San Antonio Brahmas, losing Chase Garbers for the entire season. Storm Dormady, right? Quentin Dormady came on in here and absolutely tore us a new one. Man had been in practice, he'd been ready, has spring football experience. I'm willing to take my lumps if I'm wrong about this twice. I can do that. I can take that, okay? If Troy Williams comes in and does amazing things on the Memphis Showboats, I'll eat my words, okay? +2. Absolutely lock it down. Already saw this line move a little bit. I believe it's a one even right now, +1 for the Michigan Panthers. That I'm feeling very comfortable with. Again, as long as we just fix these minor mistakes. Mike Nolan actually going for it. Maybe he's only willing to do this, to go for your 4th and 1s and stuff like this, if Panthers are ahead already. I'm not 100% sure right here. I can't imagine a game in the UFL that is even like somewhat close where we only settle for one Jake Bates field goal. The man.
Magic legs.
Come on, guys. Come on. These can nail totals. These can just completely destroy ATS lineups. Frequently has already this year. Also, yeah, 12 p.m. That's also Eastern Standard as well. Good to keep in mind for all of these. I'm gonna say under as well. I don't have a whole lot of like faith in our offense right now. I'm not in Michigan right now looking at training camp or in Birmingham wherever they practice, right? Wherever they practice, looking at and seeing how they're doing. Especially given that we waived our third wide receiver recently, and I'm not sure how involved the new guy whose name is, I just saw it. Son of a bitch. Jordan Sewell let go. Christian McFarland let go. Gavin Holmes, excuse me. I'm not sure if he's practicing right now. Not sure if he's going to be inactive. I'm not sure if he's going to be inactive for weeks. Not sure if he's going to play next week. Not sure if he's going to play on Sunday. Point is, they need, maybe a tight end named Hukatini. Right? I've said this for 3 weeks now. They need a third passing option to really round out Marcus Sims. Marcus Sims, who is like the hands-down number one Trey Quinn, who's come forth and really proven himself all the way through this. I see this being a 27-10, maybe not even that much, 21-10 game for the Michigan Panthers. They are majority under in games so far. They've only blown the over-under out of the water one game, and of course that was against the Houston Roughnecks that were the worst team in the league at that time, maybe again, but are not right now. We would not, that would not be the same game if a man named Mark Thompson was playing. Yeah, this might actually be the best one I feel. The last two, the Sunday games, I feel decent about totals, but again, guys, do not take my advice on the totals. I am not taking any of those myself, or at least not like the majority of them myself, for like locks of the week or anything else like that. Until next week, until these totals get, just get, like Vegas, whatever, gets it under wraps, right? Because they were super low, and they like 3 out of 4 of them got blown out, or got hit as overs. 2 of them were absolutely blown out. The next week, they're really higher, like. They just need to figure this one out. I think they're a little bit closer on the ATS stuff. So, recap. We are looking at the San Antonio Brahmas coming in Arlington, getting a W, covering 1.5. I see this as being more like 6. Gun to the head, I'm saying over. Again, this is dependent on whether or not Luis Perez and the Arlington Renegades show up. Birmingham Stallions, Houston Roughnecks, like this is one of the easier plays, even though unless there's a massive storm that gets inside domes, right, in the UFL here. I think Birmingham against Houston's a pretty safe play. I also see this number going up higher than -7.5. So if you're watching this, you might want to get on top of that. Under. Mark Thompson, fantastic. Birmingham Stallions defense, even better. St. Louis Battlehawks taking it to the DC Defenders. DC Defenders never having lost a game in Audi Field. Well, it's going to happen this week. DC is not the same team that it was last week. DC will also have everything in a bag of chips to fight for. I see over 47 right here as a mild content. Michigan Panthers, Memphis Showboats. The Boats now they're going to be losing by more than 2. Panthers getting it done. Right here. +2. I'm super happy with that, especially the way that a lot of these coaches, John DeFilippo, not discluded from that, will fully take 1-point wins. I could see Memphis taking taking this. This is why I'm not taking the money line right here. I could definitely see that. Even us down by a point, them kicking a field goal, us losing by 2, at least money back. It's better than that. I'd love +3.5, right? So even if we lose by a field goal, we still cover that. Whatever, +2, very comfortable with. 40.5, still under, guys. Michigan. It's not super happy with their offense right now, and Memphis just lost their starting quarterback. Troy Williams has flashes of greatness, but if our defensive line gets to him, that will be game over and not a whole lot of points scored. I'm FBI Tugboat. I have been your host here for the Panthers Picks podcast. Tailing, fading, whatever you're doing, put it in the comments down bottom. Good luck if you're fading, and if you're coming with. I'll see you next week. FBI Tugboat. We are out of here.